So, for a lot of people on this pathless path, there seems to be a clearing out process. To borrow the analogy of the dirty cup, you pour water in it, clean water, and initially it kicks up a lot of dirt so that the water looks really mucky, and then the more clean water you keep pouring in, eventually the glass is clean. Some people call it purification process. So this pathless path, once these kind of inquiries or whatever your practice is, or whatever you do, or however you're drawn to this, begins, and this kind of clearing out seems to happen with a lot of people. And then with this clearing out comes these insights, insights into ways that you were thinking or relating or behaving that wasn't really serving you, or that you were kind of living or relating from a sense of being identified with a me. And you start to see through these patterns, and with them they dissolve, they burn with each seeing through. And then with that, the part of the me also seems to burn. But what can happen is when these insights come in, it's kind of like, I get it now. And really it's more of a stripping away. There is no ultimate insight. The ultimate insight actually is just, you are life itself. Bam, that's it, done. It takes a second to understand that. Most people you could say that to, and they get it straight away. In fact, you try to say that to most people, they're like, I already knew that. But that insight can take a while to embed into the system. And during that embedding, apparent process is actually kind of a subtractive process. It's actually taking away identifications. And because life's at the steering wheel, life's the driver, it will pull you towards whatever facilitates that for your system. So it could be religion, it could be therapy, it could be non-dual talks or meetings, it could be selfless acts, it could be worship. There's all these different paths, like the yoga paths, right? Like jnana yoga, karma yoga, mantra yoga, hatha yoga, raja yoga. Like, it's just different ways of describing. You might not fall into any of those, but you will just be drawn to whatever facilitates this process. It's not even you that's doing any of that. You just draw. It's just life's the one steering that wheel, that body mind organism's car, the driverless car. So yeah, this can be messy, this clearing out. It can amplify the things that seem to make you feel more like a me. It can really bring them to the surface, but ultimately it's so they can be burned or integrated, or whatever word you want to use to to call that process, but it's a seeming process. And yeah, it's messy. It's messy. But ultimately, it's kind of helping your system become comfortable with things that it normally isn't comfortable with, like mentally, physically, emotionally. Yeah, it can be physically intense as well. It totally depends on the person. For some people, it's not. Some people, there's not much clearing out that has to happen. In fact, there's so little that it doesn't even seem like there was a clearing out process. And for others, it's really intense, and it can go on for as long as it needs to go on, and it doesn't really end. It's just a good chunk of it is done enough for it to not be so intense anymore, but it carries on for the rest of your life, because there's so many ways we can learn about how we're thinking, behaving, and relating, and it's so much easier to do that from a perspective of no self, from a non-perspective. So there was something else I was going to say, which I can't remember now. Because, yeah, that's what happens. Anyway, I hope this helps, because it's such a confusing process, and, you know, it can seem like things are getting worse. And this gradual kind of apparent falling away of the apparent being apparent, but it's ultimately a good thing. And all you can do is just go along with the process, and there's not even much you can do. You're just going to be drawn to stuff. It's just, you know, it's just the way it rolls. There's no need to worry about it too much, although worrying about it will probably happen. Yeah, I don't remember the other thing I was going to say, so I'll just stop there for now. But yeah, I hope that helps. It might not. I don't know. This kind of stuff helped me, because it's, I don't know, something comforting about knowing that someone else is going through the same kind of thing. It's like, oh, it's not just me. This is a thing that happens, so I can relax and just let it happen a bit more, you know? Yeah. Hope you're having a good day or evening, wherever you are.